So today we need to talk about the Internet Anarchist and the drama that's blown up around his channel. A lot of people are calling this his downfall, and after looking at the evidence, the responses, and the patterns that people have pointed out, it's honestly hard to argue that nothing went wrong here. But I also want to be fair. This isn't about dogpiling a creator just because it's trendy. This is about honesty, credit, and respect in a community where creators build entire reputations off research and storytelling. Let's start at the beginning. Internet Anarchist built his channel on long-form documentary-style videos, deep dives into online figures, controversies, scandals, the rise and fall of creators, the kind of content that feels researched, thoughtful, polished, and for a long time, people trusted that what they were watching was his original work. But then the cracks started showing. Another creator published a video pointing out similarities between one of Internet Anarchist's uploads and work that had already been done by someone else. Not just the same topic. YouTube topics get reused all the time, but similarities in structure, phrasing, organization, and even specific lines. That kicked off the first wave of backlash. Internet Anarchist deleted the video in question and said it was basically a mistake, a one-off, something that slipped through. And at first, a lot of people were willing to accept that. Everyone messes up, everyone learns. But then more examples started appearing. Other creators and viewers began comparing clips. People noticed repeating patterns, familiar narration beats, research trails that matched other creators almost word for word, and content that didn't feel genuinely sourced or credited. And that's when things shifted from oops to hold on. This looks like a habit, because there's a difference between covering the same topic as someone else, which is totally normal, and building your video around someone else's work while presenting it as entirely your own. The community reaction was intense. Some people felt straight up betrayed. Others argued that it wasn't technically illegal, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But the real issue here isn't just copyright, it's plagiarism. And plagiarism is about ethics. When you watch documentary-style commentary, you assume the creator did the digging, read the articles, built the timeline, crafted the narrative. That trust is the foundation of the whole format. So when viewers feel like that trust is broken, it hits hard. What made things worse is how the situation unfolded afterwards. Instead of fully owning the mistakes, giving detailed transparency, and crediting the sources that were used, the responses felt careful, limited, and kind of damage control-ish. At least that's how a lot of people perceived it, and once audiences start to feel like they aren't hearing the full truth, that creator-viewer relationship fractures. Because now every upload becomes a question. Did they write this? Did they research this? Or is this another recycled story that someone else already made? And honestly, it didn't need to get this bad. There are creators who borrow or reference other work and simply say so. They link sources, they shout out channels, they treat research like collaboration instead of something to quietly take and resell. Most viewers respect transparency way more than perfection, but instead the narrative around Internet Anarchists became repeated plagiarism allegations, slow or incomplete acknowledgement, and content that people no longer feel confident trusting. And that's why so many are calling this a downfall. Not because one video was messed up, not because of hate, but because repeated actions suggest a pattern. And patterns speak louder than apologies. So where does this leave things? For one, it's a reminder that YouTube is built on community memory. Viewers notice, other creators notice. If your brand is documentary research analysis, but your process is really copy first, adapt later, eventually someone will put those pieces together. Second, it raises questions about the grind culture of content creation. When creators feel pressure to constantly upload, constantly grow, constantly chase the next big story, shortcuts become tempting. YouTube rewards output. The algorithm doesn't care whether the research came from you or from someone else, but the audience does. And finally, there's a bigger takeaway here. Credit matters. not because it's legally required in every case, but because it's morally honest. Saying, I learned this from so and so, doesn't make your work weaker, it makes it stronger. So, do I think this downfall is deserved?